Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Film Buds podcast. This is episode number 128.
I knew it this time.
Yeah.
I did. I didn't say it, so you'll never know, but it's true.
And
I did.
My name is Henry.
I'm Chloe.
And this time around, we got a bunch for you.
Jam-packed.
We have a review first of the
Like
Goldfinch.
A nice high tea sandwich.
Yeah, which was
Jam-packed, yeah.
yeah, just released through Amazon. It's an Amazon original, and then we also have a review of another Amazon original, which is Honey Boy, the film.
As they call it. I know I'm just saying because it's Amazon, but you know that I feel this way no matter what it is. People buy it, and then they just say it's theirs. It's annoying. Because there's an actual production company. Like Netflix does the same thing with a bunch of like BBC shows. It's a pet peeve, but it really does grind my gears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
But it's, Honey Boy, which is written by and stars Shia LaBeouf. And both of those are on Amazon Prime now. And then we have a fair bit of news to talk about, like the new Spike Lee movie, The Five Bloods. Yeah.
News about your boy Christopher Nolan.
Yes,
Some
Christopher.
news about my boy Taika.
Yeah, we actually have a listener question concerning Christopher Nolan and Tenet.
Wow.
And some other news like maybe the Scarface reboot. Chloe, you hear about that?
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
We got some Mad Max Fury Road sequel updates. Oh yeah.
Where's James Cameron at? That's my question.
He's making Avatar too.
He's been making it for freaking 1,000 years. He's making like 2, 3, and 4 at the same time.
Yep.
He's a disaster. I don't like him.
Well, they just released a image from the production. So I mean, they're right in the middle of it.
When? Well, they're not doing it now. He would.
No, it's not going on right now. It was from it was a still from prior, but no, it is in production. So
Henry will get famous because he's gonna sue me for saying that he would be the kind who would be like, coronavirus is a hoax. Let's do this Avatar. Okay?
Maybe so.
But we're gonna get famous because he's gonna sue us because he's also the type who would have like Google alert people. Like he'd have like 5 people whose only job is to like, find him at every single place on the internet. Like the most boring version of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Sure. I could see that for sure.
But shout out to us for getting
noticed,
famous off of it. So we tricked you, James Cameron.
Yeah.
Suck
and it. We also have some other stuff we watched. Like
James Cameron.
I got around to seeing some new releases like Gretel and Hansel, The Rhythm Section, and some other films. And so thanks again for joining us. What's up?
I wasn't listening. Hansel and Gretel.
Gretel and Hansel.
Oh, that thing? That didn't come out yet?
No, it's out. I watched it.
I'm lost. Oh, you watched it?
Yeah.
I tapped out for just a second, but
you're fine.
That's enough because, Henry, you crammed so much wonderful information into every single second that I'm just out of the loop now.
Thank you.
Was it on the string section?
What's it?
What was the other one you said?
I said the rhythm section.
Oh, the rhythm. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What's that?
The Blake
Sounds
Lively.
Familiar. Oh, no wonder I didn't really know what it was. Okay, let's get this this show on the boat. Okay.
You got it.
It's raining again as well. That might be part of it. This is like my high energy type of weather.
Oh, yeah?
Because I think I'm a witch. As you know, all the Schleifers pretty sure we're witches. But
sure.
You know that we have a lot of ESP going on in my family, especially Mama Strauss. That was confusing because of all the last names, but guess what? Over half of married couples ended divorce or something like that. So that's why. Lots of last names. That or my mom is like Leonardo DiCaprio and Catch Me If You Can, but better. Who knows? She has like 12 last names.
Yeah.
Anyway, Henry, what was I saying? Oh, yeah.
I have no idea.
I just like it. I just love a light rain.
Oh, me too.
You know, is there anything more pleasant, especially when you can't play sports and stuff?
Yeah.
You know? Because unlike James Cameron, we're responsible.
He seems relatively, I mean, he's not super sweet, but he seems responsible.
Henry, that was a little throwback joke about him having a production during...
Oh, well, hey, that was pure speculation. I have not verified.
No, Henry, we're not going to get sued if you say that it's speculative. No allegedly's here. I saw it with my own eyes. Henry, don't worry, I wore a complete hazmat suit. I snuck into your house, stole the crappy Batman drone I got you.
Still have it?
What'd I get it for you for? I put it back. I'm good at this. Was it Christmas? Yeah, Christmas. And then I went to the submarine where he's shooting his movie inside. Isn't he doing that? Something stupid like that? Yes.
No idea.
One of the Avatar movies is like underwater.
That's
he's
the one
actually
coming
filming it underwater.
Well, yeah, I mean the image they released was like the dots that they have over for the suits. It was like that, but on water, and so it's like
that is actually another layer of it.
It looked pretty cool, actually.
That's another layer of it. There's no reason for it not to just be animated. They're all blue people. Wow.
Well, gives more of the performance a showcase because it's the actor themselves there, not just a created image.
Okay, Andy Serkis. But let me finish my story because it's so exciting. So I snuck into your house. Don't worry, hazmat suit, Purell, all this stuff. Oh, no name brands, whatever, hand sanitizer. Actually, we're making our own hand sanitizer, so don't get twisted. Much less expensive, less plastic. You go for it, everybody.
All right.
Anyway, it's easy. Just don't drink it. Anyway.
No problem.
Well, I used to drink my mom's vodka sometimes by accident. Because it's just, I thought it was water, you know?
Sure.
Like I'm going, that's not water. It's a fun little thing. I also got electrocuted yesterday, or 2 days ago. Maybe that's why I'm off the wall. Yeah, I did. I know. And it was funny because we were just talking about electrocution. Anyway, listen, I know. But this is, I feel like we all need energy. I'm going to give you some of it, okay?
Please.
And I haven't had any, as you know, Henry. I've been hella narcoleptic. I don't even know what is up right now.
Chloe, this is a safe space for you to do that.
Thank you. Just seeing your bright, happy, shining face has given me
Chloe.
Energy. Wow. That, or this is like, the second wind kind of thing before you really plop. Anyway, so I snuck into your house. Don't worry, I was all covered up and everything. Don't worry. Took the drone, flew the drone under the sea, so it might not work anymore. I'm sorry about that. I said, oh, he's filming. Nobody's... James Cameron, this is not a safe situation. It's a pandemic, okay? And then I put it up. I said, crap. So I stuck the drone in some rice and then plooped it back in on the shelf.
Oh, wow.
And that is some detail that proves I'm telling the truth. Is it on a shelf?
No.
Perfect. But let me, wait.
Okay.
Let me get this out. Oh, you're going to say what we're talking about? All right.
No. I'm just going to say a few little in-house things, as you would say. So, first of all, Music Buds, the new episode is out, and we interviewed.
It's fun.
Yeah, we interviewed a producer that we are friends with.
Producer.
Yeah. Music producer for Music Buds, but
Excuse me, Henry.
I'm kidding.
It's worth.
I know. Yes, I know. That was a joke. We interviewed a very talented music producer, and so check out episode 7 of that, and then also,
before it, even though I've known him since I was a little teeny baby, Henry and I YouTubed how to pronounce his last name.
Yes,
and there's a video on YouTube of just that one French name that just says it over and over and over. So we got it.
Yeah. And then our third show, You Don't Need Anyone, is we have 2 new episodes up about that. We talked about Mindy Kaling and Ellie Kemper, who's the star of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So check those out yet if you have not. And one more little plug. So if you haven't been to
it's an electrocution pun because it's going to be a segue.
Right. The filmbuds.com all of our merchandise and clothing goes to COVID-19 charities. So there's a big store link right in the middle of the main page, and we have a mailing list now.
Wow! I'm surprised we didn't have one before.
Yeah, and so if you as you go to thefilmbuds.com, a little mailing list pop-up should appear, and you can just put it in your email, and you'll get just
make your
one
life
email.
Easy.
Yeah, one email a week, just about.
Unless you want more.
Well,
if you want to talk to Henry just about how things be going, I'm sure
people can email me, but
Henry's the nicest. He'll write you back.
Yeah, and
I won't.
Well, that's all right.
I don't know how. I'll send you some letters. I love that.
Okay. So, and thanks to the people who have already joined. That was pretty nice of you.
It was very nice of you to put it all together, Henry.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Well, continue, Chloe.
Oh, about my electrocution story?
Yes.
Okay, so I got electrocuted, but that's not really the story. The story is a couple hours prior to the electrocution, and there's zero, not correlation. There's zero causation here. It's just a happenstance, coincidence, right? A couple hours prior, my dad was telling me that in you knew it was going to be about my dad. In college, he was in college. Oh God, I'm going to screw it up. In like the super late 60s, early 70s, I'm pretty sure. I don't feel like doing the math, but I think that, it'd be, I don't care. Anyway, around that time, okay, right? It's like, lava lamps and everything like that, right? No offense, Henry, you have a lava lamp, but it looks very good in your room, okay?
It's been there as the LaCroix cans still are. It's been there since, I don't know. Oh,
the what cans?
The LaCroix. It's been
LaCroix?
there since like middle school, so.
Henry, we have apparently a big French listenership. You have to say LaCroix or we're gonna be getting sued by everybody. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For if you caught the last Film Buds episode, we were saying
or music
for some reason,
whatever.
and not that we're complaining, we had about maybe like a 400% increase in Music Buds episodes over the last month or so, which is pretty awesome. And the majority are from France.
Merci beaucoup.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
Wow.
But go ahead, Chloe. Okay. Go ahead.
So he was in college, and it was like that time, And so he went to Woodstock and stuff. Like it was that time, okay. And he had like a tapestry on the ceiling or whatever, right? But the rest of the room, Henry. I'm sorry, I'm not kidding here. The rest of the room, like all the wall, he was doing some DIY before it was cool, okay? All the walls and like a bunch of the furniture that didn't need to,
Oh yeah.
Stationary furniture, as it were. Stuff that didn't need to open and close, I guess. Actually, God knows with him. But anyway, completely covered in tinfoil.
Classic.
As decoration. That's not a joke.
I believe you.
All the wall. And I don't remember what it was, but it was like, they were like, yeah, this is sick. Like, good job, us. Except, yeah. And then my dad... I'm so sorry. My dad, and I just found the story out. My dad, he told me what it was, but I can't remember. Went to plug something in through the tinfoil. Like, through it, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The socket was covered by tinfoil. He went to plug something in, and he flew across the room.
Jeez. Too bad there was...
It's so funny.
Wasn't a live feed of that.
Oh my God. I mean, to be fair, he usually does what I say. So, like, I'll see if he's up for a reenactment.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Post that on the Instagram.
Yeah. One time the thing about the apple on the head with the arrow?
Yeah.
We tried that one time with I was serving a tennis ball.
Huh. How'd that go?
Pretty well.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was a really good snap story. People were eating it up. Like the apple.
Cool. Well,
what's new with you, Henry?
Not too much. One thing I discovered today, and in the big scheme of things, this is a very small issue.
Henry.
No. I mean, it is.
Oh, it's an issue. Okay.
Yes, it's not a big deal at all. Did you know that Weezer postponed their new album indefinitely?
I did not.
It was supposed to have come out a few days ago.
Aww.
They've postponed it without any new release date.
Poor Henry.
Yes.
That's so stupid.
They released a new song, which I enjoyed a lot. But the thing is, and now if this, again, is pure speculation, everybody. That's coming up a lot on this show. Pure speculation here.
Never. This is facts.
If their reasoning is because, a big band like them will get a massive amount of pre-orders and they don't want to be charging people and then they themselves getting a ton of money during a very bad time. I
think that's the most generous
that's what I was
assumption of all time.
Yes.
Which fits your personality very well.
No, and I was going to say that's best case scenario.
That is not a thing.
Which, hey, I mean, I could see Rivers Cuomo doing that, but I doubt that's actually the case. But no? Rivers?
Huh? Hey, I'm not hating on the guy, okay?
But
if he was really upset about it, he'd give free download of the album and be
that's true.
Yo, pay for get if you want to get the solid one or whatever.
Yeah.
See you then. Especially since that's how it all works anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like it's.
But my issue, Chloe, is
what's that?
If I may.
You may. You always may, Henry.
Oh, thank you.
I just talked for 30 minutes without breathing.
This is the time
straight out of
that people are craving new art and entertainment.
Absolutely.
Like for example, the new Green Day album. I'm so glad it came out before any of this happened because that's something I can always go to for kind of comfort and connection. And it would have been the same thing with this. It's like,
right.
I get that there probably will be a financial hit, but let's be real.
My boys are still releasing their new album. They couldn't give a crap.
Yeah.
The Killers. They're saying, yes, here you go.
Yeah. It's like people, are craving to have a new piece of art. And it's frustrating.
That's capitalism for you, bruh.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
It doesn't allow art and happiness to flourish.
The man. But anyhow, maybe.
I'm sorry, Henry.
It's all good. I liked the new song. It was fun. But hey, I'd rather have the full album.
That is also the thing. Like, you've started, Once. It's like when you're in the pool or whatever, or a body of water, and it's like up to your like mid shin, and you're like, this is the coldest thing ever.
Sure.
So cold. You gotta fully dunk at that point. Otherwise.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna release one song, you're leaving people in that worst. I guess it's not even shin. It's when it's at the.
Yeah.
torso.
Well, they did release the first song, the lead track, back in September. So there are 2 songs from the album.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
That's even worse, Henry.
Yeah. Very disappointing.
You got to get your head under the water or it's going to be so uncomfortably cold. That's what I'm saying.
Big time.
Either you don't get in the pool at all or fully immerse.
Yep.
It's not, also they're doing freaking Roy G. Biv. They got plenty of colors left, plenty of new albums.
Yeah.
They did, Red Grit. They haven't had a Fuchsia album. They haven't had a, Chartreuse.
Give them time.
Yeah. Well, they can give them to themselves. They're not releasing their album. What the heck is that?
Yeah. Well, we'll keep you updated on that one.
I'm thinking about TV shows too. I'm saying, oh no.
Yeah.
Because already it feels like so long you wait. And then, again, of course, very minor given the state of everything. Hopefully that is almost, it should be said, but you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes. Not to say it shouldn't be acknowledged, but hopefully it's almost goes without saying.
Yeah.
In this frame of reference, as it were. But I'm like, oh gosh, because now I keep having that little bit of it. You know how I have that thing about not wanting to watch stuff that I have been really looking forward to and everything.
Right.
You know that what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I get that feeling, right? Ugh. And now it's worse because I'm like, what if there is another season of this show for 95 years? The actors will look so old, the Irishman.
Yeah, It's the world we're living in, Chloe. You know?
That's true.
Oh, and I guess we should...
Thank God we have James Cameron.
Yeah, thank God. Jimmy C, thank God you're here. But
it sounds like Jimmy Carter.
And I guess if we haven't already, if it's not obvious, we are doing another remote show.
Yeah.
So we hope everybody's staying safe and staying home if you can.
Yeah.
Well, Chloe, I think we should probably jump in.
Let's dive into that swimming pool. Am I right?
All right. Let's get to our first review, which is The Goldfinch, which is currently on Amazon Prime, and we do have a clip, as Chloe said. Let's take a listen.
Please tell me it isn't true.
Yes.
Do you know the history of that painting? Do you know that it was his last painting because he died in an explosion, stupid accident? And somehow, miracle after miracle, it survives through centuries. Until you.
Howie, I never meant... I didn't know what it was at first. I was just trying to keep it safe.
It wasn't yours to keep!
The Goldfinch came out in September of last year and is now on Amazon, as we said. It's directed by John Crowley and stars Ansel Elgort, Nicole Kidman, Jeffrey Wright, Luke Wilson, Sarah Paulson, Finn Wolfhard, Oaks Fegley,
Nailed it.
Willa Fitzgerald, and some others.
There was some Luke Wilson. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Sarah Paulson, I wasn't listening again. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
My cat came in.
Oh, you're good. And the synopsis is, a boy in New York is taken in by a wealthy Upper East Side family after his mother is killed in a bombing at the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Yeah.
So I saw this one, I think, back when it came out on VOD, maybe back in January.
Yeah, you watched it quick after.
Yeah, I was curious, and I rewatched it for this. But Chloe, you have read the book. Yes. So do you want to start off?
I'm pissed.
Now, one thing we should say, this is done by the director of Brooklyn.
I know. What the heck is that about?
And shot by Roger Deakins.
Come on. Oh, oh my God. That's like, it's like, what you just told me is like, what they say, the cherry on top of the, not the tree. What the heck are you talking about? Like the icing on the cake. And it's like, but you can't eat any of it. You know what I mean? So the cake, what's your favorite flavor of cake? Normal? What was that weird thing you said?
Yes, normal.
Normal flavor of cake.
Which, hey, I stand by.
This is so weird. And like you said, your favorite smell was ice cream. You're just a weird boy, okay?
Thank you.
Anyway, but, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a cake without any embellishment is like, could still be yummy, right? But then you have all the, beautification and the nice little, what's that? I want to say gouache. It's not gouache. What's that called? Whatever. The chocolate stuff. The bake-off people know what I'm talking about. When the chocolate gets all mirrory, whatever. But then you cover it in resin. So it's like, it looks even better. And it's like, oh, you can't eat any of it. Ganache.
Okay.
Basically, I'm upset.
Yeah. Cool.
Call me Drake.
Yeah.
You didn't get that reference. And that's why I love you.
It makes sense. Whatever it is. And I'm sure it was I'm sure it was accurate.
He has a song called I'm Upset.
Yeah, I know that song.
That was the reference.
Oh, okay.
I said I'm upset. Call me Drake.
All right.
Oh God. All right. Go ahead. Oh, it's my turn, isn't it?
If you want, I can go if you would like.
I'm not a happy camper about this. Okay, so I read the book. I got the book like right after she got the Pulitzer Prize. Pulitzer Prize? I should know that. Yeah.
Pulitzer, I believe.
That is what I said. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I couldn't remember which one it was, but yeah, the Pulitzer Prize. And I was like, okay, I'll tango. And then, so I got it. And it's long. It's like 700 pages.
Yeah.
But I flipped through those pages. Oh, my God. I loved every second of
Speed reader.
Yeah. I didn't say it. Yeah. So I flipped through it so quickly. But then I decided to read it, and it took me 2 years. And I'm just kidding. But it was so good. Had lots of little tear stains on it, very good. And people were a little, obviously people liked it. It got or somebody liked it, right? Got Pulitzer. But then it was people were like a little, there's a little bit of infighting about it. Like the second half, some people were like, and then it sucked. And then other people were like, it's still great. And I was one of those people who's like, it's still great. I loved the ending, And it was a beautiful piece of storytelling. And it was so visual and careful and just so, I mean, I'm going to sound so basic comparing it to Harry Potter, but it's a good tie-in because he calls him Potter. Cute.
Oh, boy.
You didn't like that?
I could not stand that.
Yeah. Well, nothing, to be fair. Well, we'll get to it, I guess. But, how do I say? Okay. Oh, Henry. I'm sure I'm not the first one to do this, but I just thought of something a little clever.
All right.
It's a twist. I'm not used to this feeling. So, you know how a big part of the movie is, the scene in the movie where he's teaching him about the two chairs, where one is a fake, basically?
Yes.
Like, he's like, this one has, he says, like, life or something. It's like, it's been around for hundreds of years, and this one looks like it, but it's clearly made by a machine, and blah, blah, blah. That is a perfect analogy for the book compared to the movie.
That's fair.
The book was full of life and feelings, and it was very intimate. And so, especially in the context, I know we all know I'm annoying and everything, but I don't like all the hoity-toity, weird, like if you're rich, you're eccentric, if you're poor, you're a psycho. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this movie was very, quote-unquote, eccentric, right? But, in any case, just very entitled, but it's because it's so hollow. Like the book was just so rich and full and caring, and like I said, intimate, and the movie was just like this god awful, like it's like if what's his name, what's Matt Damon's name in it? Ripley from Down to Mr. Ripley was a movie, it'd be this movie.
Right.
I'm calling the movie a sociopath.
Okay. Yeah.
Ugh, God.
Yeah.
It's so upsetting.
Yeah. Upon rewatching this, besides the fourth Transformers film, this might be the longest film ever made. It was. Yeah. It became almost unwatchable because of how
it's not cathartic or anything. Like we can sit through a long, sad movie. Beast of No Nation, fine.
And I think when I talked about it a while back, I said that it was trying to say so much, but said absolutely nothing. Yeah. And that was even more so on the rewatch. It treats everything so preciously. Like the pacing is so sluggish, and it spins. And while I completely can see how it would work in the book, there are so many sequences that go on endlessly, and I feel like they have no real payoff. Yeah.
Well, the book isn't like that. So they also mess around with like time and stuff a bunch in this. Like that's another thing. They sell out. Did I interrupt you too much?
No, go ahead.
They like sell out the story and the character. There's like no integrity because they're looking for almost like shortcuts, like the easy, like cutting corners, like or maybe that's not even the right way to do it. Maybe they just like low-key missed the whole point of the book. Like the story. These two actually go together really well, Henry. The Goldfinch and Honey Boy are like about childhood trauma and how that manifests and addiction and everything.
That was all planned.
You planned it, yeah.
I did, yes.
It actually happened to be the perfect, and the juxtaposition between classes and everything and not knowing. So, wow, Henry, you killed it as always.
Thank you so much, everyone.
This is like clocking the walls all over again.
Yes.
But they fit really well because it's, about, like I said, trauma and everything. and they just apparently that's not that's too lackluster or something, so they try to make huge big mysteries that aren't actually there. And it's so offensive. It's so offensive. Like the book opens with a very in-depth kind of, not in-depth, but a very detailed walk through the Met and everything, to my recollection. That's definitely in the beginning, but I read it when it came out, which was a while ago. And it's not much the kind of book for a quick reread. But again, that'd be really easy to do, not to be, like that. Like, oh, it's so easy, even though you've never, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, it wouldn't take nearly as long to have a shot walking through the Met with the little boy talking to his mom as it would to have it described in a book. Like, you have a lot more tools there, It's the beauty of visual storytelling. Yeah, you don't have to work so hard to immerse. So, but they tried to make her they didn't show her. I'm so over that. Just showing the back of someone's head until the end of the movie. He knows what his mom looks like. How are we? We can't empathize with this kid. And then he's like, does he not know what his mom looks like? What the heck is this? It's so dumb. You know what I mean? They just totally don't get the whole point of the book or any of it, and they just make it some weird kind of a choppy. It's like if Michael Bay did Hamlet, It probably
give me that movie, Michael.
But you know what I mean? That is truly how it felt. It was so. God, it was so rough. And again, it's worse because they had so much to work with. You know what I mean? It's not oh shoot, what's that movie with Brad Pitt that we saw recently?
Ad Astra?
Yeah. Ad Astra was empty just because it was empty, I guess. It wasn't, how do I say? Basically, they had it all. They had the toolbox, and they're like, oh, I'll just take one screwdriver. I'm sure it'll be enough. You know what I mean? Bring the toolbox. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So it was super annoying. Also, it kind of goes together. I'm about to get super, even more college essay for a minute, okay?
All right.
But, it goes together super well, as things tend to do, if you ask me. It aligns that the movie is so... I forgot what I was saying, and that's okay. We'll get there. Gotta be honest with you here. Okay. The fact that they thought that they... Because, again, it's over 700 pages. Very, not dense, but, thick.
Rich?
Yeah, rich. Thank you, Henri. Very rich, right? And the fact that they, took it on kind of shows you... It kind of makes sense why it wouldn't work. It's like the whole idea of the only people who want to be politicians are the ones who shouldn't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, because if you ask me, Reese Witherspoon should have scooped it up, made it a series, one season on something, HBO, Hulu, who cares? She can do what she wants. She scooped it up, done that, because the beauty of, one of the, I love an Odyssey, Henry. We've been through this. We've been through it. And, he goes from place to place as he grows and everything, and he meets people and stuff. But again, they try to make it some weird jigsaw puzzle mystery nonsense, okay? It ain't like that. No. And so it would have been really cool, almost like if Series of Unfortunate Events was old enough to buy cigarettes. Not that anyone should. Don't smoke. But that's what the Goldfinch should have been turned into. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
Don't get me started on Ansel Elgort. Dear God.
Yeah, this is
his voiceovers. Can you do any less? Can you be any less effortful, please?
Yeah, if there was ever a movie that I would actually ask to be a miniseries, it would be this.
100%.
I normally would not ask that, but Like HBO could do good work.
Exactly.
With this,
and there's so much to it. And again, it's so hollow because like the relationship between in the movie for context between Ansel Elgort and Nicole Kidman, it works because they are kindred spirits. Like they do see the beauty in the art, just like his mom did, like all that stuff. But it feels so fake because there's nothing there. They don't give it any time. And again, it felt like a slog as opposed to you can really dive in and feel the, whatever beauty in it without it being a slog if it's just done with like heart. Again, like cutting corners doesn't work unless it's gym class, in which case I done did that. But you take my point. But if they catch you, 10 push-ups.
Well, yeah, and also
I never did the push-ups.
Right.
I got to drive a golf cart around for most of my gym class experience.
Nice.
That was no joke.
I was doing it. I was in the heart of it. I was going for it. That was the class I looked most forward to, actually.
Oh, gym?
Back, at least in middle school.
Oh, well, I couldn't do gym in middle school because I was on crutches the whole time.
Oh, well.
My legs didn't work.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, one of them didn't work.
Well,
one's enough. Yeah, 50% is enough.
Yeah. Anyhow,
I did a lot of cup stacking.
Oh yeah,
gets old.
That was the big thing at the time. Anyways, while of course I would never ever insult him because the movie looks amazing. Roger Deakins shoots the heck out of it. I cannot fathom why he decided to get involved with this because
I think he might have read the book.
I'm sure he's read a lot of books. He seems very studious.
No, but I mean, he probably could see the. I'm saying he could probably like you kept telling me it was bad and everything, and that was basically everyone did, to be fair, right? And that was basically part of why I like really delayed watching it because as you know, I kept saying like maybe I'll get it
Yeah.
Because it's one of the books that you can really picture the whole thing beautifully in your head, and that was the only part I liked about the movie was like the beginning being set in New York. So it was like, oh yeah, I can like feel that breeze and smell that air because like I've been there and like I used to, well I still do, but especially when I was little, like loved going to the Met with my family and everything, like that kind of thing. So that was about it. But you can get that in your head too. So I'm just saying maybe the Deacon Meister saw all the potential,
Yeah, I can see that for sure. But also while I would never insult his cinematography, I would actually argue that his style works against the movie.
100%.
Because his shots are these deep focus, very vivid,
kind of dreamy too.
Dreamy shots, and it gives a preciousness to it that it doesn't earn or really need. It could be shot more plainly, and
would have been a lot better.
Maybe be slightly better because it's like every shot is like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And so it's like you're just putting more weight into it that shouldn't be there or is not earned.
The subject matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's like the whole idea of what was that stupid thing Lana Del Rey said where she was like, oh yeah, I'd love 27 or something like that. Like something stupid. You know what I mean? My point is, all the kind of like, I guess I can talk more about it later, but basically the best way to put it, at the moment for me is like the reasons, spoiler alert, Honey Boy works so well for me anyways, because it's all really genuine and they're not trying and they're not fussing. But they're also, and they're not like glamorizing or, and thereby disrespecting what they're showing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But he like, it's like the movie is shot like it's No Country for Old Men. Like it's not. It's like the stories are so different that it's like this kind of story doesn't need that feel. Like it can be done.
It doesn't
more
deserve. It shouldn't have
conservatively and work better.
Absolutely. Especially a lot of people didn't like the book because to use a Yiddish word, the end bit was a little fakakta, just got a little crazy, a little out there, a little, but we all know I love me some magical realism, right? So I was kind of down. I love that kind of thing. But if you cast that over the whole thing, it don't work. And it also doesn't make sense, like, because it gets that way mostly because of his, he takes some little dips in some dirty water, okay? Mm-hmm. But it's just so bad. And it had such good stuff to work from. That's what makes it infuriating.
Yeah.
Infuriating.
Yeah.
It's like Silver Linings Playbook all over again. I've been burned too many times.
Fair. But now, in terms of the performances, of course, Nicole Kidman, amazing. And while I like him mostly, Chloe, the accent on Finn Wolfhard, brutal.
I thought it was good.
Brutal. Oh, I thought it was. Every time he said Potter, I thought it felt so off to me.
Henry, this is a bit of an unusual situation because normally on this kind of thing I would agree with you. However, I happen to be very close with a Ukrainian boy who only moved here a couple years ago, and he sounded just like him.
Oh yeah,
I'm dead serious on that one.
I'll
very like him. I think his accent was very good. Again, they play up and like make caricatures out of all these really like the characters in the book are like a little out there, but again, it works because you're so in the world. It's kind of like the idea of magical realism, suspended disbelief and everything. Like, it just works really well, but because the movie falls so flat and like the dialogue sucks and everything, like Finn Wolfhard's character Boris just seems like so unbelievably ridiculous.
Yeah, and now while I do take your word that and that accent, it sounded familiar, like it wasn't awful. It's maybe more so because it's Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah,
and I know that like every time he's speaking, he's putting on that accent.
Yes,
and so it was more so distracting, even if it was spot on.
100%.
It's like I've seen so much of him that I know that's not how he talks. And I know there's some movie recently we were talking about where the accent was an issue, but it was so heavy that it was very distracting.
100%. That was another thing that I don't want to say, well, yes I do. That another thing that kind of that to me symbolizes the lack of understanding and dedication to the actual story, just like another kind of demonstrates focusing on the wrong kind of things and everything as far as the production of the movie, is like famous people pop up every 2 seconds. Goodbye 1917. I didn't ask for this. I don't want it. It takes you right out of it. Mm-hmm. Why is Luke Wilson here? Also, he was bad in it. He was not good.
He wasn't great.
You can keep Sarah Paulson. She did a good job. She was a good Xander. That was very like the book. It was good. Everybody else, basically, I mean, Nicole Kidman, don't get me wrong.
Let me stop you. Chloe, this may be a hot take. I actually thought Jeffrey Wright was... I thought he was great.
Terrible!
I thought he was close to being my favorite part of the movie.
Oh, my God.
I thought he was very good. He was very subdued. And I thought like all the scenes where he was talking about...
He was subdued for Jeffrey Wright. That says about nothing.
I mean, I thought all the scenes where he was talking to Ansel Elgort about the carpentry and wood making, I thought all of that was very interesting. And so I really enjoyed his character.
It could have been done so much better. That is one of the best... That is such a good relation. That's the other... It just totally does dirty all the relationships. Like, Boris and Theo's relationship is like, in the book, is like, put it on the list of amazing relationships. The movie, definitely not. It's not there, right? And the same thing with this. It could have been so much better. It's so like juicy. It could have been so much better.
Yeah,
and I know I don't like him, but I don't like him for a reason. And it could have been worse. Jeffrey Wright.
Why don't you like him?
Jeffrey Wright?
Has he done something, or do you just not like his acting?
We've been over this. I think he's the worst actor. I think he's so bad.
No, I was just making sure it wasn't like for something else. I was
well, we disagree politically, but whatever.
Yeah.
Not dramatic, not enough to make me go, not be able to look at him, but I don't like him one little teeny bit.
Yeah, he's very hit and miss for me, but I thought I enjoyed him a lot in this. And maybe it was more so the dynamic between the two, but I thought when it returned to him, I was like, okay, good. I'm happy to be back here, as opposed to like Luke Wilson which was so
it's not a very high standard.
Which was so self-serious and cliched.
And it was just bad acting, to be honest with you. I hate to be a hater, but like when he was like angry, I was like, this is so bad.
Yeah, I love Luke Wilson, but in this it was not great.
It was horrible. And the dialogue was bad too, for the most part, except for the things they stole from the book, or didn't steal, but whatever from the. I just wish Phoebe Waller-Bridge or Reese Witherspoon helmed a miniseries. Probably Reese Witherspoon helmed a miniseries, and Donna Tartt wrote it, and it would have been freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And yes, Timothée Chalamet would have made a good Theo. Don't at me.
I won't.
Thank you. I can think of a lot of other people too, don't worry. But it also would have been one of those. I think it would have been better, and I know, even better than Timothée Chalamet, if we didn't know him yet. That's like the whole point, especially with the little boy. Little boy was probably my favorite freaking part of the movie, that kid. He was good.
Yeah.
Ugh, God. And then you pull in Ansel Elgort's self-satisfied nonsense. Oh, my God. Just watered down. It's just all... Ugh.
Very. Yeah, very empty, as you said, and so boring.
So bad, so bad, so bad. And again, they disrespect childhood trauma by like trying to like action it up, like his addiction issues. They make it again like you come into the movie and he's like, and you're like, oh, like okay, but like that, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? It just does not work. It just disrespects the whole thing. And also, they totally missed the boat on his relationship with the Goldfinch painting. By the way. And then there's this whole stupid reveal about the painting's history. But guess what? It's a real painting, and that's true. So it's not a surprise, okay? Like, even if you don't know it, it still doesn't count as a plot twist. It's just real life. That doesn't count, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me going. And the whole heist. They spent about 2 seconds. They ran out of freaking film on. I said, guys, get your act together. What the heck is this? And it just took away all the like beauty of the little, because a big part of it, which again goes back to Honey Boy, funny, the idea of like, how do I say it? Nah, ignore that. I mean, it's true, but I don't know how to talk about that very well, obviously, by that sentence alone. But basically, like, there's a lot of like, beauty from the ashes kind of thing, like with the characters looping back around and everything, and it was just so poorly done. It sucked big time, and they did total injustice, especially to his not especially, but a big one was his engagement. It's like, that's something we need to dive into. Okay, they made him out like he was just grew up to be a con man, and no one should feel bad for him, and blah 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 blah. Oh
yeah.
Oh, and the opening shot pissed me off. The second I saw it with he's cleaning, I said, Are you kidding me? I'm out.
Yeah. We've already talked about it, but it is 2.5 hours, which,
and I can do no problem.
Yeah.
If it's good,
like if it's Tarantino, give me 3.
Especially a movie like this that's supposed to be kind of, cathartic and like almost like immersion therapy, maybe that kind of thing. But gosh darn, if it wasn't just the worst piece of crap you've ever seen in your life. It's like an Emperor's New Clothes of movies. Like, like you should just respect somebody because of their zip code kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was a real
All right.
Wall Street bailout of a movie, okay?
Yeah, fair enough.
Nicole Kidman was so good, and it
She was.
Oh, also Andy, little Andy. I'm obsessed with that kid. That kid was good.
Oh, yeah.
Get him back. He was a great Andy. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the whole other thing. That family had so much. Just make a mini series or go away. Come on. Ugh.
All right, well, out of
Amazon
5,
would.
it's a 1.5 for me.
This is like, oh my god, I can't even. Okay, this is like when. Oh my god, I'm having so many images go through my head, but they all amount to like a beautiful piece of, like, okay. Let me boil it down for myself and for you and
All
for
right.
everybody real quick.
Please.
Basically, it's like if you're like, oh wow, like this is so exciting. You see, okay, so it's an auction, right? And you see, and it's online. It's an online auction, okay?
All right.
Okay. And so you see, like, oh my gosh, that lamp is exactly like the one that was in my grandmother's house and everything, right? And I was like, oh my goodness, like, I gotta get it, basically, right? Like, oh my gosh, okay. The one in your grandmother's house, where did it go? That's a great question. I'm not sure, but that's all right. So anyway, maybe that's part of it. Maybe you're like, yeah.
I don't know.
Slight possibility that it could be that very one, okay? Yeah. So maybe not in your grandmother's house, because it's not that close to you, okay? I take it back. It's like that lamp reminds me of the lamp in when I was growing up, the neighbor a couple houses down who was a very old, sweet lady, and she passed away when I was still very little, but she was so sweet. She was so nice to me, and she really cared about me, and you could tell she had a deep sadness, and it related to my day, okay? But then, so little, so who knows what happened to it, okay? So then you see the lamp, and it's like, that's the same lamp, and it's like, it could even be the same one, okay? Now this works better, because if it was your grandma's lamp, you would probably get it. Okay, so.
Doing great.
Thank you. So then you get it, and you're like, I got it! Wow. And you're like, okay? And that's the anticipation.
No, you got it.
I could say I was going to do anticipation or anticipatory, but eventually you're like, okay. And you get there, and you get to the place, to the auction house to pick it up, right? And they bring it out. They bring it out to you, and it looks nothing like the picture. It's just, I mean, you say, oh, right? And then you're like, is it me? Like, have I reimagined this grand thing, and like, here it is, and it's underwhelming because it's just an object. It can't encapsulate all the feelings of a memory long forgotten, and everything like that. And then you're like, well, I'll love you anyway, and you kind of pat it on the head, pack it up, great. And then you get rear-ended, and the thing breaks.
Yikes.
And your car.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be a good opening scene for a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a whole short. That'd be like one of those. That'd be the new age of Pixar shorts, along with that eating your kid made out of dough.
I swear, if I see that in a movie next year, we're suing.
Cameron, keep it out of your little Pandora.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's get to our review of Honey Boy.
Oh yeah.
Which is also streaming on Amazon.
Dive in.
Yeah, and we do have a clip as well that I hear from the producers. So take a listen.
I'm not prepared.
It says here that you are the sight gag.
Yeah.
Okay? You see all those workout faces? That's your opportunity. That's where you bring the funny shit, yeah? That's where you flare your nostrils and give me everything you got. Show me. Look.
That's not funny though.
What's not funny?
The nostril.
I like it a lot. I think it's very funny.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Just try it.
Let's go.
Ready? Jeff, come on, let's bend over and see. And you're gonna start on the floor after I just said it's a sight gag.
Just for heart rate.
Yeah, but if it's a sight gag and I can't see you, how the fuck does that work?
I just told.
You just told me what?
I just told you, like, I don't need to do it in the scene. It's not gonna happen in the
Nobody
scene.
cares about the fucking heart rate.
I
They
care
want to see
about the
funny
fucking
faces.
heart rate, okay?
All right, heart rate, man. They want to see funny faces, Otis, but all right, let's go. Ready? Jeff, come on, it's been over an hour. I got a date with Dewey. I gotta get in there. I gotta do my hair. What are you doing in there?
What if
That's
I was doing something stupid in here?
Okay, Honey Boy came out last year, I think around the same time, actually. And it's directed... You good?
I just said wow.
Oh.
But thank you, Henry.
Oh, no, it came out in November, a little bit later. But it is directed by Alma Harrell, is I think how you say it. And it's written by Shia LaBeouf. And it also stars Shia LaBeouf, Lucas Hedges,
Baby
Noah
Jupe.
Yeah, Noah Jupe, Byron Bowers, Micah Monroe for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, why was she even in it?
I don't know.
Martin Starr.
Yeah.
My homeboy.
Yeah. And, and Clifton Collins Jr. And the synopsis is a young actor's stormy childhood and early adult years as he struggles to reconcile with his father and deal with his mental health. Well, this is, I guess the big thing about this movie is it is semi-autobiographical about Shia LaBeouf's own childhood. And
Seems like everything but the names.
Yeah. And it's but he plays his own father or the father character in the film,
which he didn't want to do. The director convinced him to.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Now, as with the Goldfinch, I had seen this in theaters, but Chloe, this was the first time.
I wish I saw it in theaters. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but this was a first time watch for you.
Yeah, I was kind of scared of it. As we all have stuff, I said, "Oh, this might knock on some of my stuff," and I said, "I don't know," but I said, "Okay, well, Shia, I love you. I've loved him more and more and more every day I've been alive."
Yeah.
Especially recently, and I think he's just such an inspirational person, and you can really see it through this movie. It just represents so much about kind of like the to sound super cliche, like the way to live your best life almost, like and I just really this movie I almost don't even want to review it, Henry. First of all, it was bye, see you next week.
Yeah. See ya.
But first of all, it was like when I was watching it and stuff, I was like, I don't want to talk about this, and then I sing when I'm nervous. So but it speaks for itself so beautifully. It's almost difficult to, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's I don't want to be the resin on that cake. You feel me?
Oh yeah.
But oh gosh, where to start? Well, we'll give some background. I'll ease into it with my comfort zone. You know how it is. So basically, he wrote this, or he wrote the story before he even realized that it was a screenplay, because he had as a lot of us may recall, Shia LaBeouf had a couple really rough years there where he kept getting arrested for disturbing the peace and I think hitting an officer and all that stuff. So he was sentenced, I guess, as it were, to I can't remember, 7 months, just a long time in a rehabilitation facility, as they point out in the movie too. But so it was the therapy was with a lot of trauma and PTSD. A big part of, because he was diagnosed with PTSD, and a big part of it is just recalling what you went through and everything like that. And so the way he did it, was told to do, or assisted in doing so, was through writing down what happened and then acting it out, which is hashtag meta. This is like Inception. This is emotional Inception, this movie, so, which they know, it's so meta. But anyway, But then he was, he related his journey through his passions and what he knew to share what he went through, because he had processed it, but he really wanted to share it to kind of, is the kind of empathetic storytelling. I'm super obnoxious about like which stories I think are worthy of telling and everything like that. And like, this is what I mean. Like, this is, and why I'm so, kind of like annoyingly insistent and sometimes like hypocritically insistent on, the idea of getting like many, many, many more voices in Hollywood and the world of storytelling, just because,
right.
Like, this is his story. It's like J.D. Salinger or what's her name? Oh, sorry, lady. Harper Lee. Like, those were their big hits or whatever because it was their life. Like, that's what it was to share. They didn't have to fabricate it. It came from a real place, which I think is really commendable and everything. And I think we're really bad about that in society. Like, I'm getting off point, but what's new? Like, Donnie Darko, what's his name? Basically, he did Donnie Darko, and they did a bunch of not very good thing, like bunch of duds, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, he did a bunch of," but I'm like, "But he made Donnie Darko, like that's crazy amazing." You know what I mean? So I think in that way, it's all about perspective, which goes into all the societal stuff and blah blah blah. But in any case, so he wrote like he wrote like 70 pages of the screenplay while he was in rehab, dealing with it all. And that's part of why, and not in an artsy fartsy way or anything, and like paint is art and all that crap. It's like just so genuine, and I think really, just a really nice thing to do to share it. Not self-indulgent by any means. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like the idea of support groups. Like, they exist for a reason, and so like a movie can give somebody that too, and it's so special. And it shows a way through it, and it has a really beautiful message, I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's told visually more than anything else, which I think is really cool. I think she did a really good job, like all the parallel shots and everything.
Yeah, it's well directed, and the style of it almost, it made me think of like if someone like Harmony Korine was like even close to being normal.
Yes.
Like what his films would look like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not to say that's bad against Harmony, because I like his films the way they are, but it reminded me a little bit of that. And I when I saw it, I in theaters, and when I rewatched it, I feel about the same. I don't love it totally, but it really sticks with you. My big issue, or not big issue, I did love Shia LaBeouf and Noah Jupe. I thought their dynamic and their performances were very good. Don't say what I'm gonna say. My issue is I did not love Lucas Hedges.
He sounded just like Shia LaBeouf. I thought it was Shia LaBeouf at first.
Yeah,
I thought he was so good.
I thought his scenes of, as you were talking about with Luke Wilson, I thought where he was being truly angry were not. I did not buy it. I really did not buy Lucas Hedges as that kind of angry, violent character.
What? I totally did.
It felt, in both times watching it, it felt false to me. Now the anger of the situation, perfect, but the performance of Lucas Hedges, I did not love. I didn't think it was terrible, but I did not love his performance, and so I was always wanting to go back to Shia LaBeouf and Noah Jupe.
Really?
Every time it cut to him, especially on rewatch, I
the opposite, honestly.
I felt it kind of dragged.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought his performance, literally, I was thinking about it, and I thought Lucas Hedges was absolutely amazing. So there you go. It's not just because he sounded just like him, which he did, and he also did his mannerisms really well, which was like crazy. But also I love the way he played it. It rang actually really true to me because it was not over the top. Like, the idea of being full of rage and the appearance of rage, I think, are so different, and I think that's not very commonly represented, especially in like it's like a whole category of movie, like call it the Ben Affleck category, where it's like he's an alcoholic and he punches a wall and like blah. Actually, just call it the Affleck genre of movies.
That's true.
But it punches a wall and all this crap, and it's just so, that to me is super false. And this representation, I think it showed the cognitive dissonance so well, and the kind of the, tightrope walk where he's like, he wants to get better, but he's scared to get better because he's scared of what that means, and
right,
all that stuff. And I really, really think he did a beautiful job. So I'm surprised to hear that you didn't think the same. I just loved it.
Now there were a good handful of scenes where I did like him, but the scenes where he was being truly angry, I did not really buy it. But
I thought they were really good.
Yeah. Again, everybody else I really liked. I thought Shia LaBeouf's kind of like this passive aggressive, like you never really know what he's thinking, what he's going to do next, especially when it comes to his son, I thought was very compelling and effective. And Noah Jupe's confusion and but also him going along with his father and all of that I thought was very good. And I liked the therapy or the rehab setting. I thought that was done well. It's just that the performance didn't totally win for me, but that's okay. It's not a big deal.
My favorite scenes actually were the ones between Lucas Hedges and Martin Starr. Like I would have watched that as a whole movie.
Yeah, fair.
I thought those were so good. And I thought he was really good, especially because like I think it's at least kind of, I've seen it, I guess, where like the idea of dealing with trauma, it's like it and everything, and especially Shia or what's his name, Otis. It's the like he says, like he's acting like he's always acting, as when he's not acting and stuff like that, and it rings really true that you can like mime the anger and stuff and all. So maybe I'm reading too much into it and it's like thereby excusing the performance, but it rang really, really, really true to me. I thought he was so good. That was actually my takeaway, my biggest like not the storytelling is like one category, but then the like performances and all that stuff, I was like, Lucas Hedges I thought was so good, which is funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, we both pointed him out. Like, he was both of our point outs for different things. So, there you are.
There you go.
There you go.
But it is just a really cool, contained, pretty dark story. I think going into it, the first time, I was surprised as to how heavy it gets. Not in a bad way. It really deals with some pretty dark material, but done, as we've said, very, very well.
Yeah. It's funny. It doesn't feel that dark to me. I guess it's like always just what you bring to the seat with you. Like Beast of No Nation to me is like so dark, and this was a little more like, not to be or anything, but it was like this was very like realistic and like relatable, and not kind of like how the movie looks at it. I think like it's not a judgment one way or the other or anything like that. It's just like, oh, this is what is, and that's like why they're looking at it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as dark as something like that. It's not like misery porn or something, but like in terms of just I think just expectations of going into it, even by the trailer, I thought it was different, but not.
I knew it was gonna be that's why I was so trepidatious. I knew exactly what it was gonna be, and I said, yeah. And then it has this whole other weird layer because like I recognized stuff in it. Like it's so weird, and that's kind of like just how life works. Like it's neither here nor there, I guess. But as far as in this time and place, and for me, like where. In the whole realm of, decades, I'm making no sense. I know that. But basically, I grew up watching Even Steven. So I happened to be in that relatively confined or relatively small pool of people who may have gotten the extra layer from the movie. So like in that way too, I just really appreciated that he kind of, he was kind of forced to share himself with the world for a long time. And I just appreciate that he nominated to do it further and in such an honest way. Like the like nostril flaring scene, and like there were just so many references. I was like, oh my God, that's a reference to this and that's a reference to that. That's wild.
Yeah.
Like he definitely, I mean, there was a lot of care in it too, and all those like little movie, I don't want to say, and they're not Easter eggs because they were his life. Like they were things that were really, that he clearly, remembered and were moments for him. And even like stuff from the show, like he used to, like on Even Stevens, he used to like get, filthy all the time because he was like the comic relief or whatever. Like I remember one time he was like literally in like a vat of melted chocolate and he was just covered in this stuff. And the movie does a good job. It's not being like, oh, woe is me. Like so many of them, it's not like that at all. Especially, Henry, we might disagree on this one a little bit, but like all the like Marilyn Monroe movies and stuff where it's like, again, that kind of like Lana Del Rey, like I want to die, like they make it like all dreamy and wistful. It's like, oh, poor. But like she's not even telling it, you know what I mean? It's like very different feeling. It's so grounded.
Yeah.
And it's not luxuriating in the pain by any means.
No.
You know what I mean?
And
I love the
agree.
line. Sorry.
No,
I'm
no,
just
go
going
ahead.
on and on. I love the line where he's talking to his therapist and he's like, he's saying, how am I supposed to, it doesn't sound as what's the word I'm looking for? Where it's like a, whatever. It doesn't sound as pretentious as how I'm about to make it sound, but where it's like you're trying to, like, if we take away my pain and hurting, like that's the one thing like he gave me, so you want me to like get rid of him as a part of me. And it's just very like I said, just a very honest portrayal. They're not trying to, because the therapist doesn't retort with some like Gandalf Dumbledore nonsense, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And talking about the kind of woe is me trope, I do like how, like, when Noah Jupe is on set and his father comes in, is like, you the director, you agreed to doing 2 hours of filming, but it's gone over, and so he's getting tired, or he's missing school or whatever it was. It's like,
it was
yes,
cool.
he is this young star, but at the same time he is still just a kid, and it, like, that kind of thing can have an effect. And so that realism was very effective, because it was like, okay, yes, he is in this very top position in Hollywood as just a little kid, but it's still like,
apparently, he was still living in a motel.
Yeah,
it was on like
exactly.
the most successful show. Like that's still like the show of like my friends in my like childhood.
Yeah,
like you remember. I haven't seen them in forever, but like you remember Lewis, and which is Shia LaBeouf's character, especially. And then like Beans and all that crap. Like it's very memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all that I really liked.
Oh, I liked it. Basically everything about it. I mean, obviously it's so sad, but even it shows you, it's the whole idea of like art imitates life. I mean, obviously, like I said, hella meta. That would be my review or whatever, on the poster it'll say hella meta, Chloe Strauss.
Yeah.
And they'll say whomst? And then they'll say the one who was sued by James Cameron. Yeah. Edgy.
It's a long tagline, but
yeah. What?
all right.
Anyway,
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, the two biggest things that I definitely want to say about it. One, the filmmaking. What I was going to say. Sorry about the life. Three things, Henry. I'll cut it off of that. But the life imitating art imitating, that whole thing, like, is crazy. Like his dad was like a rodeo clown. It is wild how well that works, and it shows you so much, and the whole like juggling. Because I remember he used to juggle in the because I wanted to juggle because like Lewis juggled, and it's like, oh, they incorporated that because his dad like way over the top, made him like be very good at juggling, which he then used as a stress management, which is so fascinating to think about, you know what I mean? And again, like very relatable, the kind of deep-seated stuff. But the reason it works so well, which is my second point, I guess, the reason it works so well, again, it's true life, so I'm not like judging his life, but as a story, it works so well because he's telling the honesty of, again, the kind of messiness of life, and he really demonstrates very well the value in coming to terms and kind of I think moving on is like really overused as a term. He accepts what was and what is and what happens, and he kind of can release a lot of the pain, and like he like hadn't talked to get real again. Shia LaBeouf like I guess hadn't talked to his dad in like 7 years or something until the movie came out. Now the relationship is quite good, but you know, again, it wasn't just because the movie came out that it was, you know, it came out like they started filming it like a month or 2 months after he got out of rehab. So of course the time lines up for that reason. But it's the whole idea that you can, you know, he still made the movie where his, you know, it shows his dad's abuse of him, but also they're close now, or, you know, have a better relationship now, which is really important and interesting. And I think something the movie demonstrates, or, you know, shows so well, because it's, I think that's just a really important and beautiful theme, you know, forgiveness and understanding, and but still trying to be better. And it also the other theme, to me, that's really big is the oh shoot, what's that called? Oh no, it's like generational trauma, I think, like how he like comes from a line of alcohol, like people suffering with alcoholism and stuff like that, which is it's a known and common thing. And like the director came from a similar situation, but the thing that I think worked, or the point the movie showed that I think is so beautiful about it and so true, at least, you know, like in my experience and stuff, which is of course just one life, but what I loved about the message was like everyone is trying to get better. Like no one wants to be, I don't think, very few people actively want to be a bad parent, right? It's because of all the stuff they've dealt with, and every time it gets a little bit better, I think. Like it's a long haul, but for instance, it would seem that Shia LaBeouf has kind of finally broken the cycle in his, you know, because he's dealt with all of the pain and the trauma and kind of accepted it in more of a healthy way. And I hope that sticks for his sake, because it's a lot to deal with. But I think it's just again, very meta, but I think a really beautiful message of the movie. And the movie also shows it really well, which is like the last thing I want to talk about for 20 years is the again, the like visuals and the direction, because there's a tons of parallels. They do such a good job, even compared to the Goldfinch. The storytelling in terms of trauma is so vastly different, you know. And again, it's a lot of the same things, like drug abuse and everything from a young age, and violent, you know, domestic violence and all that stuff, and negligence and all that stuff. But I think that was so well done, because you bounce back and forth without, you know, it's not over the top, but like you know, they show him, you know, they show little Otis, you know, like out in the woods, kind of like yelling, you know, kind of as if he's like, but with a little more naivety and like the king of the world or whatever at that moment kind of thing. And then they show him when he's older trying to yell in the woods and that kind of thing, which isn't the best example, but it's like tons of them, like it's jam packed. The most like visceral one to me was like the motorcycle driving.
Yeah, I would
like,
agree.
Oh, come on. But even like the pools and like all that stuff is just so strong, because it had so much to draw from, you know, real life, you know, which is, I think, part of what makes it such a strong movie. but the visuals were just like the way the story was put together was just so solid.
Yeah. All right. Well, out of 5.
We're done?
Oh, I mean, I think you covered it for me.
Come on, Henry.
I mean, you talked about mostly everything I was going to bring up. So.
Oh no. Oh,
I mean,
no.
I mean, do you have anything else you want to?
Yeah, probably. You say something else, Henry. You say something else.
I mean, yeah. Oh, how did you feel about the
FK Twigs?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh boy, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
Again, I think it shows a lot of. I mean, I think there's a lot of truth in there, and that is kind of murky. And it also, I think, did a really beautiful job of exemplifying how he is just a child, especially like he acts very. He was very precocious and very sweet, and he was always very polite, and I love that. But anyway, yeah, that was definitely murky waters, super weird, and you kind of see it demonstrates innocence and how much it sums up being a child, I think, in a lot of really good ways, because Noah Jupe, or young Otis, wanted to have that interact. Like, his dad wouldn't even hold his hand, he wouldn't even touch him, right? And so it shows you how vulnerability can be kind of very easily manipulated, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And not necessarily in this case for the worse, but it's all about kind of the perception there, and then you can see how that could turn really bad really quickly. And again, it goes back to stuff his dad had dealt with, which also pays attention to his response when he sees the interaction and everything. But you also don't know her deal at all. Right. I mean, you know a little bit, but you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's all really interesting.
Yeah.
And sad, but it comes out well. And a big part of, I think, Shia LaBeouf's, Otis, whatever, story, I will say I really appreciate that they didn't show, oh God, I'm really sad about this, because, Timothée is my life, right? But we all know I hated, what's the movie called? Beautiful Boy?
Yes.
Hated it. And I'm sick of those stupid scenes where they just show 12 hours of them, doing drugs and being upset and being gaunt, and there's always something about they prostitute themselves and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. It's very sad and tragic and upsetting and comes from all kinds of places, but the point of it, or how do I say, the thing I really respected about Honey Boy is that they acknowledged, again, those are the symptoms and the side effects. They don't really have anything to do with the story or the process. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, of course, they show him smoking when he's teeny little thing and everything, which is obviously bad. It shows, of course, a lack of... there's a lot of that. Mm-hmm. And, of course, his dad is like, oh, don't smoke it outside. I don't want people to think I'm a bad dad or whatever, right? So it's
exactly.
lots of the confusing stuff that we all have in real life. So many confusing feelings. That's why you just have to make the best out of things. But anyway, I love that it didn't have those moments where Lucas Hedges is freaking, I don't know, whatever. I mean, and the beginning was sick, by the way. First of all, the opening shot, amazing. I was so about it, I can't even deal with it. Yeah. Oh, that was another one where he's triggered by not being able to take his thing off.
Yeah, that was.
And then because when he was little, oh my God, come on. I mean, this movie truly, again, because it's just truth. It's just truth. That's why I can teach people so much. There's so much there because it's real, Oh, that's the thing. Again, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Don't worry, everyone. But. Yeah, I'm really glad they didn't show him spiraling. I'm glad, and they acknowledge it. He Shia LaBeouf wrote it, right, about his life. He by no means tries to again, like glamorize or dismiss or excuse anything. Everything just is. He just gives you what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is honest in that way.
Very much so. So it's the only reason a movie like this works, you know? But I really liked how the only sort of, Otis's, the display in the movie of his, violence and serious addiction and everything is only portrayed in the beginning, intertwined with him, like, shooting movies and stuff like that. Because he doesn't, like, the blurred reality and everything. I think it was, and people's perception of, again, I might be college essaying this, but, he did the whole paper bag thing and all that stuff, right? So, like, the idea that everything of him is just, like, that there's not a real person under there. It's all entertainment. It's all fictional kind of thing. And I think it's so impressive he pulled that off because, like, that's the hardest thing to do. Or not the hardest, not by any means. But, like, I think that's such a hard thing to do successfully. And that's coming from me. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry you have a... You know what I mean? Like, I'm so sorry you're too rich to be happy. Oh, like that kind of thing, of course. You know what I mean? Which, is something, we all have our own stuff, I'm sure. And I mean, I know it comes from some of my stuff. But he did a really good job of showing the realities of that without it being woe is me or preachy or obnoxious. He shows you that everything has, moving parts. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And again, especially poignant for me because I didn't really watch I watched a lot of movies and stuff, right? Even when I was little. I didn't really watch Disney Channel and that kind of thing, but I did watch Even Stevens, and no joke, for Lewis. I lived for the character, and he annoyed me, but I was like, this is you know what I mean? But yeah, I love me some Even Stevens. So again, it's like an interesting extra layer because like, oh dang, you were so sad at the same age that you brought me some like respite. Like that's so weird. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
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 Just watch it. Everybody, you gotta watch it.
It's worth a look for sure.
It's so good. It's so good. Ugh. It's so good.
All right. Well, it's a heavy 4 for me.
Oh yeah. Okay. Again, I'm getting a couple things. It's like a day for me.
No.
But I'll just go with the first thing that came to me, yeah?
Please.
Okay. So, I give it a very old style, like a proper brass and like several moving parts kaleidoscope, right? And you're looking through the kaleidoscope, kind of like you're laying outside, kind of, right? And you could be looking at the beautiful sky and the clouds and everything, but you're looking through this kaleidoscope trying to see if the sky and the clouds and the sunlight make any difference with it, right?
Right.
And you're not picking up on any difference or anything like that, but you really want to see what it's like when they, like this extra layer, right? And it's not you're not seeing it, and you just keep doing it for like hours because you're like, no, it's got to do it. And it's gonna be so pretty when it does. Like it's got to do something. Yeah.
All right. All right. Cool. Well,
It's a heavy 5.
Yeah. in short,
it's Micah Monroe. What the heck? But other than that,
very odd.
Super weird. Is that maybe no? It wasn't made before she was. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know.
There are lots of good subtle references as well, but again, it's because it came from his real life. Like the guy, like his character on the Even Stevens equivalent or whatever is named Jeff, and his dad's actual name is Jeffrey. Like it's very interesting. It's like deep, like it's deep and meta. And you know what? He's allowed to. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh my God. And the whole character of Tom, we didn't even get started.
Oh yeah.
And the body dysmorphia, we didn't even get started. Oh my God, so much. And I sound like I'm excited about all these terrible things, but you would feel me if you feel me. Oh my God, confusion with the Jewish identity was even slipped in there. I said the guilt for being Jewish. I said, oh my God, okay.
Yeah. All right, well let's move on. Get to some news. So I guess
here's the news. Shia LaBeouf is everything.
Yeah, he's the man.
And he hasn't stopped. Freaking, what was one of my favorite movies of last year? Yours too?
Peanut Butter?
Peanut Butter Falcon! Come on! We live for Shia. Okay.
Well, the first thing we can talk about is Spike Lee has a new film coming onto Netflix in mid-June, which is called The Five Bloods.
Soon.
And
see, Spike Lee knows where it's at.
Yeah, I do have a synopsis because there's a lot to unpack with it.
It's huge.
So it says, 4 African-American Vietnam veterans return to Vietnam. They're in search of the remains of their fallen squad leader and the promise of buried treasure. These heroes battle forces of humanity and nature while confronted by the lasting ravages of the immorality of the Vietnam War.
It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's very, I guess it's shot very docudrama-esque.
Jarhead. No, not Jarhead. Sorry, End of Watch.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. And has Chadwick Boseman there. Yeah. It looks very, as most Spike Lee movies do, very genre blending. And
he's really, I sound so annoying. Like, who am I to say something like this about Spike? But he's really coming
about Spike.
About Spike. I got nervous that I was going to say the wrong Spike, to be honest with you, so I just left it there. But I think he's really come into himself, you know.
Yeah. And that. I mean, Black. Yeah, it looks great.
It's going to be everything. It's going to be overwhelming. It's the kind of thing where I'm like, I can't do it. You know what I mean? It's yeah. In all the right ways and all the wrong ways. That's going to be poignant AF.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Poignant AF.
Big time.
Wow.
And next we have, there has been a lot of development in it for a while, but the Scarface reboot.
Just kidding. Keep it.
Is officially a go.
I'm hydrated. I don't want it.
It was, I think, going to be done by either David Ayer or Anton Fuqua years ago, but it ended up in development hell.
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, and
maybe good things do happen.
Now Luca Guadagnino, who did Call Me by Her Name and the Suspiria remake, is attached to do it.
And take a dip in the... Man, pools are a really big theme of this episode for me. What's that movie? With Tilda?
That
one.
If
you know,
Love?
you know. Thank you for knowing. No. Didn't he do the pool? A Bigger Splash.
Oh, A Bigger Splash, yeah.
That movie sucked.
And yeah, it's not great.
Kaylee's ending was way better than what happened.
Yeah. And it's going to be written by the Coen Brothers. So that's a pretty interesting matchup there. Which, hey, for me, the Coen Brothers, the writing is one of my favorite parts about them. So I'm definitely in for it. But I don't really need a Scarface reboot.
They're going to need to give me an airplane situation in the movie theater. I'm going to need a barf bag right in front of me. I'm going to need some oxygen. I'm going to need all the things.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to know where my exits are. I need the big inflatable slide.
Yeah.
It's a big no thank you for me.
Yeah, I love the original, but it's one of those movies that I just don't feel the need for a reboot. There's nothing I need to explore more in it or anything. And so I wish they weren't doing
just
it. I
watch
wish
the original, guys. You shouldn't be able to. It should be like one of those things. You shouldn't be allowed. I'm gonna sound so whatever. I don't care. You shouldn't be allowed to see it unless you've seen the original. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, okay. Just because something's old doesn't mean it's bad. My dad is so funny. Apparently, he dated 3 people. I just learned this too. He dated 3 in his freshman year of college. He dated 3 consecutive Debbies. Yeah, he has like weird dating OCD. And then he dated like 3 consecutive ballerinas.
Wow.
Yeah, he dated a lot. And then he dated this one lady who he like properly liked, who was really cool. Most of them he didn't really care about. Oh, he dated a witch who was the daughter of a Nazi. Who like an escaped, like not escaped, but like a proper, like an officer,
a proper
Nazi who like one of those good ones who like ran away or whatever, ended up there, and then his daughter like was a Wiccan or whatever, and dated my dad.
Wow.
And she was like, "Oh yeah, Daddy, suck it. I'm in love with a Jew." And my dad was like, "Huh?" Nope.
Whoops.
Okay, guess it's time for Debbie's.
Yeah.
But then there's this other lady who he properly liked, who was really cool, who like, she was like a daredevil and stuff, or she was a ballerina. I don't think she was in that ballerina group, but she was a ballerina. And then she was also, I'm sorry, Papa, I'm inevitably going to mess up something about this, but you're fine. You'll be all right. But she did that thing in like the circus or whatever, where she was in the big cage and she rode her motorcycle like all like 360 and stuff.
A Ryan Gosling character.
Place Beyond the Pines. Yeah.
Nice.
Just my dad, am I right?
Yeah.
What?
All right.
Why did I bring that up? What were we talking about?
Age.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, all right.
All right. Well, and then another piece of news.
No, what movie were we just talking about? I'm so sorry.
Scarface.
Oh yeah, we don't want it. Keep it. And you know, my least favorite part about Call Me by Your Name, the movie, was by far the direction. So I'm not in it for Guadagnino. I'm not in it for we all know I hate the Coen Brothers. I'm sure they're nice, but I really hate them as artists. But you know, good for them. And there was a third thing I also hate, right? Or no? Was there a third fact about Scarface?
I don't think so.
Probably just that it's a remake of Scarface. That's a solid 3.
Yeah. And then the one other piece of news. So another film that's been in development hell has been the Mad Max Fury Road sequel, or now prequel. Yes. Because even though it made a fair bit of money.
It made bank.
But it didn't it wasn't as big as a Marvel film or anything, but it still made quite a bit of money.
Jeez.
And of course it got incredible reviews. And it's my favorite film, so I hold it in very close to my heart. And now it's been announced that a prequel about Furiosa, which is Charlize Theron's character in it, is going to be the next film in the series. But it won't star her, because it's going to be an actress in her 20s, like a young version of the character.
I'm out.
Yeah, well, because he said that he wanted to de-age her, but he did not think the effects were up to his standards.
Charlize don't need it. She don't need it. Just don't say what age she is. Put on some extra primer or whatever.
See, I'm okay with that, because it's a young version of the character.
No, we don't need it, Henry.
I need it.
We're in this whole... No, you don't.
Oh, yeah.
Stop being a boy. It's this whole other world.
I can't wait.
No, she's barely canon. It's so... No.
I mean,
I think it should be Charlize.
Well, of course, but I'm just glad it's happening.
That makes me a little irritated. I'd be so in if it was Charlize Theron. Because, like, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's not like, I mean, for God's sake, have you seen Riverdale or any of those shows? But that's not the point. Yeah. But the point is, they're like 30-year-olds playing high schoolers. This is the freaking, no one knows what's going on. There's nothing telling you what time this is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But
why does it matter what age she is?
Yes, but we've seen a film with her at a certain point.
Henry.
It's not like if it was.
Have you seen Monster? The woman can do things.
Oh, of course. I'm not saying that she can't do it.
I'm just saying she could play younger. It's also called acting. She can act younger.
She can do whatever she wants. She's very
Apparently
talented.
Not.
But it's more so he wanted to de-age her and to include her, but he did not think
it'd be unnecessary. I think it'd be unnecessary. I think it'd be pretty darn quick. Give her an arm, okay? We'll know she's younger. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
give her a different haircut, make her a little less, nihilistic, and we'll be there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I agree with you. I'm still really looking forward to it, just because it's that level of that world again with.
Yeah. That irritates me. I hope it works out. That's some big shoes to fill. And I'm not confident. I love to be proven wrong.
Yeah.
We all know I would be very happy. Again, I'm not like that. I'd be very happy if it's good. I'm just a little.
Yeah. One thing I read that she talked about recently was, so the original cut of Fury Road was 3.5 hours. And she said that when she watched it, not only did she think nothing should be cut, but she thought it was one of the first times in her career where she said, this is truly something original.
Oh,
and
poor Charlize.
Yeah. I would love to see that 3.5 hour cut.
I'm
even
surprised
if it's
they didn't release it, for God's sake. Why wouldn't they? They did a freaking Chrome version.
Yeah, well, my guess is because of the effects they would have to
Blade
put
Runner.
in. Yeah, probably. That would be my guess, but...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Other than that, again, we have a question concerning news. So, Chloe, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, so the FilmBuds podcast at gmail.com is where you can reach us at. Also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at FilmBuds.
Can I interrupt you?
Please.
Apparently, now this gives me a little more hope, but not enough. Truly not enough. This, if I was going to be like, okay, I could see that, but still no. It's nothing on Charlize. She should just be at it again, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. But they're looking at Jodie Comer, which is, that's a good pick. But
okay.
Do you know who she is?
From Killing Eve?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're a new listener or if you've been listening for a while, please send us any questions or comments. We'd love to hear from people, and that's one of our favorite things.
Absolutely.
So the one we have this week, which was actually sent last week, was done through Twitter from @sugarcubes. And
same.
Yeah. And they say,
call me a horse.
They say, what's up, my friends?
What's up, Sugar Cubes?
What do you think are the pros and cons of releasing Christopher Nolan's Tenet? It's a massive movie, so a lot has been invested. Wondered your thoughts, excuse me. Yeah. So Tenet is supposed to come out in July, but there's a lot of question if... What?
I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm being extra bad about interrupting you.
That's okay.
Today, and I'm so sorry, Henry. Henry, you're my best friend.
You are too.
I am also my best friend. It's true.
It's true.
I'm so sorry. But I saw something, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're far more knowledgeable and up to date than I. But I saw something, I think, that said it would only come out when 80% of theaters are open.
Yes.
That's confusing.
And
that should not happen in July.
Yeah, and if it moves later than July, films like Wonder Woman will be pushed even later. I think till December because they're both Warner Brothers.
Oh, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
But
that might be a good call, frankly, wouldn't it? You got to save your inventory a little bit, given the circumstances.
Yeah.
That or make some more Sonic the Hedgehogs.
That's true. But the big thing with this, so now the movie had a budget of $200 million. So,
and it would make it back fast under normal circumstances.
Yeah, and that's before marketing. So pretty much they would have to make 400 to break even.
Maybe that's how Christopher Nolan argues for his budget. He says we'll make it super secret so we won't need a lot of PR.
Yeah.
No TV spots, nothing. We're giving you 5 seconds of Baby Washington looking through some glass, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And now I guess the question for people is that people are thinking that if Tenet opens, that will be kind of the sign that theaters are back. And which, there's many questions there I have, but
I don't have that many.
Yeah. Not that I'm, arguing that. Now, one thing with Christopher Nolan that I read about this whole thing, not that it was done at all.
Does he have say in the process at this point? He doesn't own his movie.
Well, the studio would decide when it gets released.
Exactly.
But the one thing I did read is that this was done a long time ago. I think it was the case with Dunkirk and with Interstellar and maybe even earlier ones. But he has a deal with
that's right
Warner Brothers where he makes 20% of the first dollar gross.
That's
which,
right.
Dunkirk made $500 million. At least, I think, and
the lesson here is value yourself.
Yeah, and he is getting a massive amount of money, and so not that it's entirely based on this, but it would probably be wise for both of them to push it back, because even if a lot of people go see it in July when it's planned to, it's not going to be as much as if they pushed it even to...
They're selling 2 less tickets than they would have before. And you and I both, they're selling 4 less. You and I both would have seen it twice.
Yeah.
It Chapter 2 style.
Yeah. Or October or December. It could still make a fair bit of money. And, of course, there's the whole safety issue, is because this is a big movie. A lot of people are going to go see it. But, Chloe...
Nobody's going to see it. People who love Christopher Nolan, they ain't about that life. I guarantee you. If somebody's going to go see a movie with Robert Pattinson and zero information, they believe in... they ain't about it. They social distancing on a normal basis. They don't like... We're all introvert. If you like Christopher Nolan, I know you, okay? I know you.
but see, now, Chloe, the other thing is to go slightly political here.
Let's do it, Henry.
Even just yesterday...
I don't get into it, okay? I don't get into that.
No. Even just... Yeah, that's my thing. Yesterday, somebody came out and said that after the election, coronavirus will be gone completely. So why don't they just make the movie date right after the election? Then it'll be a slam dunk.
Who said this?
Trump's one of his Eric Trump, is it?
Oh,
yeah,
baby Trump.
Yeah, he said it's a hoax, and so the coronavirus will be gone after the election.
They're still on that it's a hoax?
Yes.
I don't listen to them. I don't.
I mean, I try not to, but I'm
worried it's like secondhand smoke, secondhand stupid. I stay out of them.
Big time.
Nothing there for me.
Yeah.
That is crazy. It'll be gone after the election, huh?
That's what they say.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Okay.
I didn't think that could happen, but hey, if they say so.
This is a very, okay, obviously aside from the fact that it's just very, it's ridiculous and unfounded, it also doesn't make much sense as a persuasive argument if you look into it, because there's an insinuation that the virus is being controlled by some kind of a political party or whatever, right? But it's obviously wouldn't be the Trump one, which insinuates that somebody's more powerful than Trump, and the only way it would stop is if they get Trump out of power, which means that Trump will lose.
We'll see.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense.
No. But it makes even less sense than what doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, Trump is good at... I mean, we all know that I have a... I think my dad threw up in his mouth when I said this. I don't mean it... hopefully, buddies, I love you. I stand for you. I haven't bought anything off of Amazon and for it. Like, I'm with it, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm about it. I'm about you. Yes. Power to the people, okay? That said,
yeah.
I can't help but have a little... Like, I am entranced by the Red Witch. Is that her name? No, the Red Priestess. What's her name in Game of Thrones? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I do.
The naked lady with powers from Game of Thrones. That is Kellyanne Conway.
Oh, yeah.
We all know I have a minor little thing for her. Just because, like... That's what I'm talking about. That is like, she makes 0 sense, but somehow it's like, no. I mean, she gets me for a quarter of a second with some of her stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Alternative facts. Come on.
Yeah.
People make fun of it, but that is so darn clever. A stupid thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. But to answer your question... Sugar
sorry
cubes.
about that, add sugar. Sorry, sugar cube.
If it was up to me, I would push it back.
Push it back.
Push it back. At least a few months.
Anticipation is one of the best parts of an experience.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Christopher, you're going to get your money. Don't worry.
You'll lose it if you release it too soon as well.
That's true.
It's just stupid.
You're a good man, all right?
You're a good man, Christopher.
We all love you.
His brother will talk sense into him. His brother freaking created Westworld. Yeah, he knows what's up.
But I guess, again, the big issue is it's not his decision.
Exactly.
So it's up to the studio, but...
It's Warner Brothers.
We shall see.
We shall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild, everything that's going on. Alamo Drafthouse filed for bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Which, by the way, doesn't mean anything if you're a corporation. Filing for bankruptcy is like putting some teeth under your pillow and getting that sweet tooth fairy money. So it doesn't matter. But that's true, Henry. Anyway,
I don't disagree.
Y'all need to go watch The Big Short again.
Now,
we need to send everybody who's buying things off of Amazon to go watch The Big Short.
Oh, well, speaking
it's like
of...
the opposite of a retirement fund.
Yeah,
You're funding your doom.
Amazon, did you hear the
They're
news
buying
there?
AMC.
Yeah, AMC Theaters.
Unreal.
That's going to be something if that happens.
Henry, if that happens, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I might have to fake my death and collect the insurance money. I'm buying Timberline and making sure it stays alive.
Oh, yeah.
The movie theater of the people.
We'll start a crowdfund.
Honestly, in Chapel Thrill, that would go down, I think, very well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Also, if you live in our area, this is my little soapbox moment, but it's a pretty real one. So, first of all, support the U.S. Postal Service. Thank you, and you all know it. You're all buddies, you know it. But shout out, because this is you all won't know this, probably. If you happen to live in the Chapel Hill area, I'm sorry to all the French people. Actually, you can go from anywhere. If you really want to help out Henry and my soul and the soul of the world, a little thing you can do is call the real estate management company that owns Timberline Shopping Center in Chapel Hill, which is where Timberline movie theater is, or the Regal Timberline, whatever, and also lots of local little lovely places, including Crazy Ann's Emporium, because the landlordy dude, apparently he's like this 9-year-old not 9-year-old.
No, he's 9.
It's Tremblay, everybody. 90-year-old billionaire who lives in Raleigh, who owns the management company that owns Timberline, right? They've been charging full rent through this entire pandemic. And they ain't quitting. So if you want, and if anyone, this is the tea. But no one knows where I got. James Cameron's gonna sue us. Old 90-year-old man's gonna sue us. It's fine. No one knows where I got my information because I'm very close with many of people from Timberline. Also, Chapel Hill is very small. But also, if they tried to start a petition or anything, he said, no, you'll get evicted or whatever. At least will be terminated. So they can't even. That's what unions is about, my people. Okay.
Yeah.
We gotta get all the Spikes in here. They'd take care of it. Get me Spike Lee. Get me Spike Jonze. Let's get them all over here. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Joaquin and Rooney are expecting a baby. That baby's gonna be the next Greta Thunberg.
Maybe so.
Actually, hopefully there'll be more before that, but. That's going to be a vegan baby.
Big time.
Like my baby. I don't have a baby yet. Don't worry, Henry. This is common.
I was like, it hasn't been that long, but since I've seen you.
Oh, yeah.
That was worded very poorly.
Let's edit. Yeah. I'll edit this out.
Sorry about that, everyone. Sorry.
Hilarious. Do you remember the one time you were like, oh, you're glowing? There was like something really weird. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Sorry about that. All right. Well, thanks again for the question, Add Sugar Cubes.
Add Sugar Cubes.
And let's end off with our picks of the week, shall we?
Yeah.
Now, I have a handful of things. Chloe, I know you have a big thing to talk about. Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Hurts my tummy. Haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Fair enough.
I feel like and it's got my boy in it, my hero, love of my life. Okay. I feel like I have to rewatch all of them first. No joke.
Okay.
And I'm planning to do with Papa Strauss. Like I said, we got time. I'm worried about running out of TV material, so I'm taking it slow and easy. You know, I'm stopping to smell the roses.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to?
Also, I hate that Bandersnatch nonsense. It hurts my head.
I do too.
I have obsessive compulsive disorder. I really can't deal with it. I'm going to be doing it for 97 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. Nah, just go to YouTube and it shows you every single... Somebody has done it. Thank you to that person. Thank you to that person, you know? Thank you to them. They put every single possible Jabberwocky, whatever that thing was called. What's that called?
Bandersnatch.
on the YouTube for you, so you don't have to lose your mind. So, well, as it were. So thank you. Thank you to those people.
Yeah. Well,
unsung.
Chloe, do you have anything you want to talk about, or shall I go?
Maybe we can popcorn, Henry, because mine happens to be fits in quite well with our movies.
Okay.
Yeah, because who doesn't? We clearly haven't talked about childhood trauma enough. So I watched. It's weird to say. What's a more appropriate form of on a whim? I don't know. I watched, as we've brought up hereth and thereth. I grew up loving Saturday Night Live very much. Was very dedicated to it, as were many. And so there's a Darrell Hammond documentary on Netflix. And I don't remember what it's called because actually I watched it before our last podcast and I forgot.
Is it new or is it
I can
old?
Tell you.
Okay.
I haven't seen it before though. Not that really means much because I'm me, but it was new to me. So, everything's perspective. But
big time.
It's relatively new. But anyway, it basically goes into a whole thing that I really didn't know about. He had the longest, I guess, residency or whatever on SNL. So sorry, SNL. Like he played several presidents and stuff like that. Just to give you an idea of the time, if you don't know who I'm talking about, because he kind of, it's actually really sad. They talk about it in the show. Like he fades in very well. He's not like Bill Hader or whatever. He's very good at becoming other people. But it kind of goes into all that. But it's just it's a documentary about his. It's very Shia LaBeouf-y, basically. It's very all that, but it's not. Again, it's very hopeful because you're seeing people who've kind of come out the other side and are trying to kind of lend a hand to show you the how it can go and become easier and better. But I really wasn't expecting. I did not know what I was getting into. I did not know about his history. He dealt with a lot of really serious trauma and had to process it, and I learned some things about it, or at least about what could be, and it's just crazy to watch it. The similar the biggest thing visually or whatever that I connect Honey Boy to with this, which is a straight up documentary, it's all real footage and everything, right, is they show him, he says and I don't want to trigger anybody. It's trigger warning, I would say, that documentary, though. So watch out. I know trigger warning's weird because people make fun of it, but also it's true, myself included. So, but it's very if you know what you've dealt with, it's got some of that stuff. So, but anyway, it shows you that basically
it's like when I was talking about the Mark Ruffalo show the other day. It's I knew what it was getting into. Yeah. So basically, I grew up watching him and obviously, I didn't. They show, he's talking about it. And he says I was on national TV, a very watched thing, and you could see you could see physical depictions of my state, his emotion, his unhappiness, unwellness, all that stuff, and it was so crazy to me. It's a similar kind of idea. So it was well done. It wasn't astounding, but it's almost it's just real, and it's good to. I think it's good for everybody to see. Yeah, especially again real stuff. I don't think it should. I think if it's revolutionary and everything, as it were, it's probably not so real. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Anything else for you?
Yeah, probably. But you go ahead while I think about things. I've seen a lot of things. Actually, I have a lot of things.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, I saw a handful of new releases. First one I'll talk about is Gretel and Hansel, which Henry Wilkinson.
This is the part I missed.
Talked about a month or two ago, and
that's that with the hair. Oh no, thank you. I blocked it out.
The hair,
right? Yes, I don't want to see it.
I'm sure it is.
It's scary.
It's not really scary.
That's what Henry Wilkie. That's what Wilkie said. But the trailer,
it's not.
Plus the. The hair.
I mean, that's like 2 seconds of the movie.
Oh God!
I mean,
did me in the trailer.
I mean, if you've seen The Babadook or The Witch, it's not. It's less than that. So it's really not that bad.
I've been having nightmares. I'm holding off.
Okay. Well, this one is directed by the guy who did I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, which we reviewed on the show.
What? I wasn't there.
You were there.
I was there.
You chose it.
I chose it?
Yeah.
Well.
and this is a retelling of the Hansel and Gretel story, but done in a very dark, dreamy, not that it isn't kind of already, but done in a very modernized,
leans in,
way. And it stars Sophia Lillis from the It films. And I definitely liked it.
Oh my God, she's in everything.
Her career is crazy. She's doing really well. And I did
like
that
stupid movie. That movie was stupid. No wonder I forgot. I'm sorry I made you watch that.
It's all good.
Oh God, was that dumb with the murder and everything and oh God, no wonder I forgot.
Yeah. And I liked it a fair bit, not as much as Henry Wilkinson. I would love to have a review of it at some point to have him on. But
that'd be so much fun.
Yeah. One thing about this director that I noticed right away, he is a master of composition. This
I think that's what Wilkie said too.
Yeah. How scenes are composed with silhouettes and just the I guess the rule of threes to be super film schooly, but it looked incredible.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love that for a storybook thing too. So important for the fairy tale kind of deal.
Yeah. And it's very well written and acted. I don't know if there was as much lingering impact as maybe something like The Witch has for me, but it is definitely worth a watch if you enjoy dark fairy tales or very stylized movies, because it has a pretty unique feel to it.
Mm-hmm. You know the movie I'm scared to watch? You know what? Maybe you and Henry Wilkinson can review that and the movie I'm scared to watch, and then I can kind of, vicariously have that experience without having to watch them, because I'm scared of everything.
All right.
It's the one with Salma Hayek and John C. Reilly. And
is that the one where she eats the heart?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that, but that looks intense. Yeah.
I just wish it's like American Horror. It's like there's and especially Hannibal, the show. It's like all this stuff because it's like my aesthetic that I wish I could deal with, but I'm just a delicate flower.
And I know this may not convince you, but there's as I think he said, there's maybe one scene that's bad.
Okay.
Everything else is pretty subdued, but
Okay.
And
is it
then
creepy?
I mean, it's like it's a dark fairy tale, so
There's
it's
no
weird.
worse feeling than like I feel it right now. I'm sitting on a couch and I can see my screen, and I feel it for you too. I'm having like
Thank you.
I'm like putting it. No, it's no good. I'm putting it on you that there's somebody behind you. There's somebody behind me because I can feel it, but there isn't.
I mean, if you can watch Dr. Sleep or Crimson Peak, you've seen it.
No, really?
Yeah.
Those are like okay. Those are just like genre soap operas.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And then I watched The Rhythm Section, which came out in January, and it's based on the novel of the same name, which I'm actually listening to the audiobook of, and it's pretty good.
Anyone good.
It's pretty good, actually. And it stars Blake Lively, and it's a story about this woman whose family is killed in a airplane crash, but then it turns out there was a bomb. It wasn't a natural. Well, I guess no crash is natural.
It was an intentional.
Yes, there was a bomb on board, and it's very much in the vein of like Jason Bourne. I think it's actually produced by the people who did Jason Bourne.
I'm definitely not watching.
Huh.
I'm so
and
out.
it's just a like espionage revenge thriller, which I very much like.
The wigs, right? She wears wigs.
She does.
Yeah, I'm so out.
Yeah. Now, I love the Jason Bourne series, so I enjoy things like this, and it's fairly genre-based and kind of trashy. I read about it on Wikipedia. I think it had the worst wide release of all time.
Goldfinch was up there too.
Yes, it like the budget was like 50 million and it made like 2.6 or something. Like it was very, very bad.
She doesn't bring people in.
She doesn't.
Like people think she's Margot Robbie. She's absolutely not.
No.
No offense, Blake Lively. I think you're a very kind woman.
Yeah, and I like her in a few things. I don't think she's amazing by any means, but I agree she's no Tom Cruise. You know, she's not bringing in those.
Please. My analogy was much better. I'm sorry.
It was.
Also, I just don't like. It's like one of those things. Like I'm here for Jake Gyllenhaal. You know what I mean? Like, or Margot Robbie for as it goes. Like if she's in it, I'll like it. Not just because she's in it, but like her taste. Like Saoirse Ronan too. You know what I mean? And Blake Lively is like antithetic. Like if she's good, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, her choice of movies isn't always that great.
Except for Elvis and Annabelle. Shout out.
Yeah.
I told that director when he came to speak in one of my classes, I was like, bruh, I love Elvis and Annabelle. And he was like, oh, yeah? And I was like, yes. And the reason I got to tell him, because it was a really big class, but he was showing, he had done other stuff. It was like a Lifetime movie or whatever with Blake Lively and Max Minghella, but I'm like obsessed with it, okay? It's a classic, try and tell me different. It's very Chloe. You know, and it probably hasn't aged well, but I'm obsessed, you know?
Yeah.
And I had to leave halfway through the class. And I guess there's like something playing on the screen. So he like went out to he had to go to the bathroom or something or other. So I saw him as I was leaving the class and I was like, oh, I just want you to know, like, I love Elvis and Annabelle. It's great. I know it probably doesn't seem like I'm being sincere because obviously I'm leaving halfway through the class, but I gotta go to a funeral, so peace, bye. And that is that on that, Henry.
Yeah.
He was very nice.
He seems so.
And he went to be like a farmer or something for a few years. I don't know. He had an interesting life.
Oh, cool. Well, shout out.
I liked him. He was the only one he was the only speaker I liked to that. It was like one of those ones where it's all speakers, different every class, different speaker,
right?
Whatever those are called. And he was the only one I liked.
And now the movie, I would say it's only for people who really enjoy spy thrillers. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, there's not going to be a whole lot there. It's not amazing. The editing in particular is pretty choppy.
Oh, we can't handle that, Henry.
It pretty much feels like a extended montage. You know,
Henry.
it's like how like Dunkirk is essentially a montage of it's like all, but it's all about time. It's very much. I mean, it's the intercutting and the pacing. It's almost. No, I love Dunkirk. I'm not hating on that, but it's like, you know, Christopher Nolan has that style, like in Inception and the Dark Knight trilogy, where
to me they're snow globes, though. They work very well.
Oh yeah, of course.
But a loose montage that can wreak havoc.
Yeah, but where he will kind of be able to do an extended amount of time, but have a lot of stories intercutting and flowing well. In this, it's just one story, and the editing is so choppy that it's like it's just burning through things very quickly. And so fairly forgettable. A couple moments, and I like the idea of the character and the arc of the character, but it's the execution is off. And then also I watched one other new release. I saw the latest film from the director of Macbeth and Assassin's Creed called True History of the Kelly Gang. And this is a Australian Western.
I think that's a terrible name.
Yeah. Starring George McKay from 1917, the main guy.
He's not my dude.
Well, I mean, I didn't like the other guy in 1917.
I'm responding live time. No, I don't like him very much either.
No? And
there's
this
other
is
versions that are better.
It has Charlie Hunnam, Russell Crowe.
Why'd you lead with Charlie?
Well,
I don't like Russell Crowe.
He's barely in it, but
okay. Well, I'm not seeing it. It's Timothée Chalamet in that movie. What's that movie with Christian Bale? Yeah, that one.
Christian Bale.
Yes, Cowboys.
Oh, Hostels?
Yeah.
Fair.
It's a Timothy Chalamet hostel situation.
Yeah, and it tells the story of this outlaw who was taught it from a very young age to be this violent criminal, and it's about him attempting to rise and create this massive movement, but then very quickly being in a way, but then being immediately shut down just as he's about to get to the heart of the movement.
Silicon Valley.
Not really, but
you haven't even seen Silicon Valley.
I've seen 2 seasons.
You crazy? That's my favorite show.
I like it. It's just not the same.
Jared is my favorite character of any show of all time.
I know.
Period.
But it's a very subdued, dark Western, and you're either going to really be invested or you're going to be out within 10 minutes. It's probably my least favorite of his last 3 of the 2 that I just mentioned. It's well acted, it's well shot, but there's just something missing from it. It's a little frustrating. I appreciate its very concise, contained, singular story, but at the same time, you're kind of hoping that it would branch out a little bit. That being said, still a pretty interesting character piece and about a story that I knew nothing about. So that element was interesting.
True history
of the Kelly gang.
Stupid. Yeah. What else is history?
That's up to you.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And then a couple things. I was recommended to watch Fauda on Netflix, which is the
my dad's
Israeli?
Obsessed with that show.
Is he?
Obsessed.
Israeli action espionage
it's
series.
It's what Homeland was based off of.
That's right, yeah. I've only watched 2 episodes, so I haven't seen the whole thing, but I liked it a fair bit. It's just a very entertaining, compelling, dark series, kind of blending Jason Bourne, Jack Ryan, Extraction, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, they're still making it.
Yeah. My only, if I had to point out anything, my real issue would be whatever cameras they're using. No, whatever cameras they're using, they need to change them because they use these like super high def, smooth digital cameras, and it makes everything look like a soap opera. And not only that, but the camera is like Jason Bourne-esque, so like it's always moving. Mm-hmm. And so whenever the camera would move, it felt like the entire TV was moving. Yeah. And it like you can see every little movement of the camera, and it's very distracting.
It's like when your TV's calibrated wrong, so the picture's like too good.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
a lot of their shows are done like, I think it's a style, but
yeah, and so that element is a bit distracting, but once you get into it, it's not really that big of a deal, but it's still a pretty cool series. And then lastly, I watched Dumbo, the Tim Burton film.
Rewatched, I think you mean.
Rewatched, which I like. I want to like more than I do.
Yeah.
But having one thing I wanted to that came up while I was watching it, having rewatched Miss Peregrine's Home recently as well, but more so this, you can feel, I think, how sad Tim Burton is. Yeah. It's like if I had to pick the saddest movie of last year, it would probably be Dumbo.
Bro, it happened when he got divorced. Not to spill tea.
Yeah,
that's not my tea, but
yeah, like it follows this man who comes back to this world that he doesn't really recognize, and he's trying to get his kids to understand why their mother isn't there anymore. And then also it's dealing with a form of art and entertainment that is going out of style. And so it's like, it's just, if you know enough about him,
it's meta in all the wrong ways.
It's quite melancholy, but now in the context of the film, it's effective. It's moving, but it's sad to think about from the outside.
Yeah. To paraphrase Shia LaBeouf, don't
Please.
waste pain. It's a very good paint.
Yeah.
Or it's very good for painting or something like that.
You got it.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You said a little better, but.
That's it for me.
Yeah, dang. This is irrelevant, but I just recently found out that Timothée Chalamet auditioned for Miss Peregrine's.
Ooh.
And that would have been good.
Yeah.
But we all know how I am. If Logan Lerman was the right age, he's who I would have kept. No one's surprised by that. Okay, let me try and think here. I'm gonna forget stuff, and that's okay. I watched. Now this is a twist, Henry. This is a surprise, everyone. So when I was in, would you like the unnecessary backstory? Of course you would. Okay, great.
Of course.
When I was in 7th grade,
I was actually hoping you would do that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't in 7th grade.
I really hope Chloe doesn't keep this short. I hope she goes full on.
When I was, call me everyone's hair right now. Okay, because you get it.
It's the saddest thing.
What?
The lady who cuts my hair texted me yesterday and said, after 11 years of business, I'm shutting down permanently.
That's very sad.
Yes.
That's very sad. Maybe haircutting will go Uber style, and like when you want a haircut, you know what I mean? They come to you, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm in need of one, Chloe.
No.
I want one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey,
come out looking like Jared Leto.
Maybe I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be Jesus.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the hair.
Thank you. Yes, and the ancestry. It's really good.
Yeah.
We've been over this. I'm very similar to Jesus. Very similar. Almost no. I mean, it's really a spot the difference situation. So, when I was a senior, in high school, I did senior mentoring at my former middle school. Yes, that was one of my classes. So, Mary and I would go into a 7th grade science class and be the we were like extra tutors. They would like line you up with classes that could use the help, as it were, you know what I mean? And so we went in, blah, blah, blah. And then he gave us, nice man, the teacher, that was a tough job. We watched a very weird video about types of rock. Very trippy. Seriously? Yes. Okay.
More on that later.
Yeah. And we had to watch it like 8 times. We were there for 2 classes, by the way. So like, it was a while. I would love to find that weird video. Yes. So he gave us very kindly gift cards at the end of the year as like a thank you. Right? Very sweet. And I don't know how relatable this is, but for me in middle school, I only ever got gift cards for one thing, despite it having no use to me. But it was like, oh, what do I get a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid? Guess? Any guesses?
No.
iTunes gift card, always. No, you didn't have that?
Oh no, I had that.
Yeah, someone didn't know you really. They were like, "Oh yeah, iTunes gift card."
I'd still take that.
I didn't have an iPod. I never had any use for it. This is a good lesson. I never had an iPod.
If anybody wants to send me one,
no,
please.
Henry, no. But I was made fun of so much because I didn't have an iPod because didn't money. Come on, okay, didn't have it. So, but my dad got, this is tangential, but a good lesson. Like I said, got me, not because I was being made fun of, because I wanted to listen to music. He got me this way cheaper little thing that just wasn't name brand or whatever, but it had a screen and it was a touch screen before what are they called? iPods were even close to that. Most of these iPods around me didn't even have screens, okay? And I was flying high with this little guy, had the screen and everything. But everyone still made fun of me because it was like, oh, it's not in an iPod or whatever. But it was way better than an iPod, so it's like, joke's on you, losers. You know?
Right.
Okay, that was just a little lesson. So anyway, I never had any use for these iTunes gift cards. And, I got some extra. So I was tidying. I said, oh my gosh, look at this. And I had an iTunes. I found it, the one that he gave, or somebody gave me. But I know it was him because it has his name on it or whatever. So I used that gift card because I saw a trailer, as is all I do, on YouTube for a show coming out. And I said, I want to watch that. But then I saw it was on Apple TV. And I said, I don't got that. And I said, oh my gosh, I got a gift card. From, 6 years ago. So pop that code in. They do not have a lot of media on the Apple TV. But what they have is solid, must say. So I've watched 3 shows. The one that I saw on the YouTube that I wanted to watch was Defending Jacob with Chris Evans and the lady that I feel bad that I don't know her name. I think she was Mary from Downton Abbey. If there was a character named Mary in Downton Abbey, I think that was her.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
Michelle Dockery?
Sure. Then the kid, there's a bunch of, I don't mean to be like that. There are a few actresses who look very similar to me, and she is one of them. And then Bill from It, little boy Bill. And that his name's Bill, right? Yeah. Older brother of Georgie from It is in it. Anyway, it is quite a good. Very good. But I thought there were only 6 episodes. But JK, they're just rolling them out slow and steady. So I'm mad. I only like what we all know I have like a lot of anxiety. I like can't keep myself together. Even when I'm watching TV, it's like I get tummy. It's like rough. You know what I mean? Oh, it's terrible. So I only watch shows like that when they're all out. So I'm lessening the issues. I thought there were only 6 because I'm on that British time, y'all. Yeah. No, they're just still coming out. I said, oh, for God's sake, I gotta sit with this. Are you kidding me? So I don't know what happens to Jacob yet, but so far it's a very good show. Chris Evans, I love him. I love him. I love him.
Yeah,
I love him. If you haven't seen that movie I love with him, y'all should watch it. The one that's not half Nelson with Ryan Gosling. The one that is Chris Evans. I think the name is a pun about drugs, but I can't remember right now. I've talked about it before, so whatever. I watched that. So far, so good. Very good. Sad, good, whatever. Then I watched, oh crap, the other show on there. There's only 5 shows, so if you're on it, you'll know what I'm talking about. The one with some British classic actors. The dude who's related to, he's in some famous family of acting, whatever. I feel like he's a Fiennes, but I think I'm wrong. But anyway, that dude is in it. And then the Rachel from Cuckoo's in it. I like her. And it's a very good show. It's a British show. It's not like Apple produced or whatever. I'm on that train again. I know. Leave me alone. I'm sorry. I love you. So anyway, but that's about, it's like a couple who is going through the adoption process. Very good show. I loved it. First season only. I loved it though. And then this one is a twist upon twist, Henry. This one was a lot of difficulty for me because everything about it is really up my alley, but also not. And we all know I'm not really on that Haley Steinfeld train. We know that. I just am not. I wish I was. I just am not, you know? That's like a staple thing. She's up there with Chloe Grace Moretz for me. Really not. Well, she's not as bad as Chloe Grace Moretz. She's, a little better than that. But still, not my deal. But the show on Apple TV that I always was like, oh, I really want to watch it, but I don't because I don't want my heart to be broken, is Emily, the show about Emily Dickinson on Apple Television. Henri, I think we've been over this. When I was very little, I was consumed by poetry. I wrote a lot of poetry. I told you my smoothie story. We know the deal, okay? Mm-hmm. I told you my smoothie story. We know the deal. If you don't know, you probably know, and I'm sorry you had to hear that. Anyway, so an Emily Dickinson, by far my favorite poet. I had a book of all her works. My dad really cultivated my love for Emily Dickinson. My mom did too, but learned a lot about her and everything. And just loved her. Hope is the thing with feathers, I know a lot of, remember whenever I had to memorize a poem, they were her poems. It never ended well. But that's a story for another time. Did I ever tell you about the poetry thing I was in where remind me of that story?
Okay.
I was in a big poetry competition and I got Kanye'd. I was Taylor Swift and I got Kanye'd. Yes. So remind me to tell you that story, okay?
Okay. All right.
Yes. But I don't like Haley Steinfeld. And it was about Emily Dickinson. I was like, I don't want them to screw with her life too much. Like, it was not a very happy life. I think it makes sure, whatever, right? Haley Steinfeld, still don't like her. She was the worst part of the show by far. By far. But everything else about the show, amazing. Visuals, amazing. If you like Little Women by Greta Gerwig with some sprinkles of the, what is it called? The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. on Netflix. Little sprinkle of that, you're in. You're in luck. Okay. It looks so good. Good story. Very creative, just very imaginative and beautiful. You know, very in tune with her poems. Like, the creator wrote all the episodes, so it works really well. Just so well done. Love, 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 love. Beautiful. Okay. Even the freaking illustrations on the page for the Apple TV, each episode has different animated illustration. Those are gorgeous.
Okay.
I'm in it, and I love it. And there's going to be a season 2, and nice. I'm very excited because I love Pico Alexander. I love him. I don't know why he's not famous, but I love him, and I'm excited he's going to be in the show.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I love Pico. Oh, speaking of Pico, been watching Catch 22 on Hulu.
Oh, yeah.
With Charlie Abbott and like everybody else. But Charlie, is his name Charlie or Charles? Probably, I don't know. Anyway, we're on that basis. So Charlie Abbott, or Mr. Abbott, actor Abbott. Basically, he's like incredible in it. I hate Catch 22, the book. Sorry, everyone. Not sorry, I do. But, who's going to be in Brave New World? Somebody I love is going to be in Brave New World. Oh, Ehrenreich. Yeah, so that's exciting, but I'm going all over the place, so sorry. Anyway, I haven't finished it yet, but it's basically like the book is fine. The acting's really good, so might as well. And Pico's in it, so that's why, I love Pico.
All right.
I love Pico!
Cool. Well, I guess that about does it for the show.
I gotta go recharge my batteries.
Yeah. Now, next week, I think we've kind of gotten a plan. Chloe, if you're cool with the choices that we had, okay. So next week, I think we're going to be doing Emma, the latest Jane Austen adaptation, which is available through VOD, and then a review of The Lovebirds, which is the upcoming
April 3rd.
comedy with Kumail Nanjiani and Issa Rae, which will be on Netflix this Friday, I believe.
Kumail is literally one of the funniest people ever.
He's
very
great.
Excited.
Yeah,
and he's so sweet.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for that for next week, and check out Music Buds and You Don't Need Anyone. They were both a lot of fun to do those shows. Chloe, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yes, thank you. I know. I'm sorry I talked so much because I was asleep for literally 3 days straight.
No, it's okay.
My God.
It's all good. It's all good.
So happy to see you, Henry.
Yeah, you too. You too.
You restored me, Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
power of friendship.
Exactly.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, so as always,
that.
Yeah, as always, please stay home if you can. If not,
thank
be
you
safe
for whatever
and
you're
thank
doing.
you. But stay home if you can. If you can.
Don't be stupid. You
Stay.
won't be, buddies. We love you.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
All right, well, we hope you enjoyed the show.
I'm just thinking of all the people who maybe have been like, oh, I'll try it. And then mostly me, has just like decimated something about their personality. And they're like, all right, screw this. Yeah. It's fine. We love it. We're just weeding out people, okay? We're just, it's okay to alienate people sometimes.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
If you're still here, that means you're a good pick.
That's dedication.
You're a buddy.
Yeah. All right, well, we hope you enjoyed the show.
Oh my God. A 74,960,800,426. That's much I was rated.
And we'll see you next time.
Was that a number?